I'm Cath and this is Made by Cath Craft. Thank you very much for joining me for this video, which is going to be a bit of a catch-up video because, as you may know, I haven't been on YouTube for a couple of weeks. I had a break, I didn't release a video last weekend. So yeah, it's really nice to be back on. The reason I didn't release a video last weekend is we were on holiday. My children had half term and we decided to go on our first ever family ski holiday, which was so much fun. My husband and I used to ski before the children arrived, and then we'd taken quite an extended break from it. We wanted to wait until they were what we thought was old enough to be able to enjoy it. So yeah, we waited a while and it was really lovely to go out this half term, and we weren't sure how much they were going to enjoy it or not because, you know, not everyone likes the same things, but luckily they did really enjoy it. We had a lovely time. We went to Austria. I'll put up a couple of pictures. It was gorgeous. I think it's unseasonably warm in Europe at the moment, so there wasn't much snow in the village, but once we got up into the mountains, there was lots of snow. So we had a really lovely holiday, but it did mean I missed a week on here, so it's nice to be back on. And now I'm back. Today, it's been quite rainy and grey this week, and today is no exception. I actually walked into town a little bit earlier. I'm wearing a pair of ready-to-wear jeans, and I've got a handmade sweatshirt. My jeans got all splashed by a car going past, so I felt quite, bedraggled by the time I got home, but I'm all dried off now, which is nice. But yes, so that's why I've been away, but it's really nice to be back on and catch up. And I think this video might be a bit shorter than some of my videos, just because what with being away and I've had a few other things on, I haven't done as much sewing as I often do. But I still have got a few things to share, so I thought I'll pop on anyway. It doesn't matter if the video is a bit shorter, it will still be nice to catch up and share what I've been up to. So yes, that was a bit of a long intro, and I'll move on now to what I am wearing today from Handmade wardrobe like usual. So as mentioned, I've got ready to wear jeans on. Yeah, jeans is kind of an area I didn't enjoy trying once, and I might try them again in the future if I can't find any ready to wear jeans that fit me well, but until that happens, I'm not in a rush to try them again. But I'm wearing a handmade sweatshirt, and I've also got on a handmade t-shirt underneath. I've just got one of my basic staple Agnes t-shirts by Tin in the Buttons. I quite like how the Agnes t-shirt has a scoop neck, which means I think it's quite nice wearing under a sweatshirt, particularly a sweatshirt that has a wider neckline on it, because I feel the t-shirt then doesn't show underneath. So yeah, I'll show you my Agnes t-shirt. It's just plain navy blue with a little scoop neck, quite close fitting. And then on top, I'm wearing a sweatshirt I made quite a while ago now. I made it using the Jarrah sweatshirt pattern by Megan Nielsen, which you'll probably know is a pattern I really like. It's got this sort of dropped shoulder. I just made this version as a classic sweatshirt with a plain neckband and cuffs, and it's got a bottom band too. And this fabric, I got quite a while ago from Beyond the Pink Door. It's a fleeceback jersey fabric, or fleeceback sort of sweatshirting fabric, but it's quite a lightweight one, so it's not like a really, really cozy jumper because it's not really, really cold here today. And I got this fabric. I really like the colour of it. I thought it's kind of quite a pretty colour, sort of like a sort of dusky, dark pink colour maybe. And then I remember getting it and thinking, I knew I wanted to make a sweatshirt, but thinking, oh gosh, actually, what am I going to do for the neckband and the cuffs and the bottom band? I didn't think it would look right in the fabric itself. I thought particularly around the neckband, it might stretch and sort of distort this sort of grid print. So I spent a while umming and ahhing about what I should do, what colour ribbing to go for, and obviously it wouldn't have been not possible to find a complete true colour match for this colour. And I wasn't sure about white with the white grids. I just thought it might, I don't know, shut the dirt around my neck or something. So yeah, I ended up going for this sort of dark grey colour. And I'm never really sure about this sweatshirt actually. It's really nice and comfy and relaxed to wear. And I love some bits about it, like the kind of nice matching of the sort of how the stripes come together here. I think that's quite a nice detail. But yeah, there's just something about it. I'm not sure whether it is the pink and grey combination. Whenever I wear it, I'm just not sure. But yeah, I still do wear it. It's maybe just not my favourite sweatshirt, I guess. Yeah, poor sweatshirt. But yeah, it's perfect for a kind of in-betweeny weather day today. And I'll put a picture up so you can see what it looks like on. I always make the size 0 in the Jarrah sweatshirt, which I think is bang on my bust measurement. My waist and hips maybe are a size 2 or a 4, but actually I find the Jarrah's a bit oversized, so I've never graded out, and there's still plenty of room, and I've just got it tucked in a bit at the front here. So yes, that is what I'm wearing today on this quite rainy day here in the south of England. But I'll move on now to what I've been up to. And like I said, there aren't as many projects to share as usual, but I'm really keen to get into a sewing project actually, because I've been feeling a bit lacking in plans or inspiration. And I do love having a project on the go. So yeah, I need to just cut in some fabric and get started on something. But I'll share first what I have been up to. And the first thing that I made, this was a quick sew just before holiday, when I had a little bit of time to fill and I didn't want to get stuck into a more meaty project. So I thought I'd just make this kind of palette cleanser, quick, easy project. It's to make myself a few more pairs of Iris Knickers. This is the Iris Knickers pattern by Till in the Buttons. I really like it. I definitely find my Iris Knickers more comfortable than my ready to wear knickers, which I'm gradually phasing out as they get kind of tatty and as the elastic starts to go and that sort of thing. So hopefully at some point I'll get to the point where I have just handmade knickers. It's got a few different options built into the pattern. I know there are a few different free knickers patterns out there, but I quite like the idea that the Iris Knickers pattern had a few different options built in, so you kind of play around with them a little bit. And I think I approximately make the mid waistline and mid leg opening version here, but I have tweaked it a little bit just to make it just right for me. And yeah, the pattern just hold your hands nicely for the whole process of making knickers. I actually a while back did film a video showing me making a pair of Iris Knickers, which I'll link up above, which has got more detail about how I found the pattern and how I found the elastic goes in and that sort of thing. But yeah, it's a nice simple sew, I think. And I made a whole load in this fabric here, which I got fairly recently when I was buying some yarn from Lovecraft, and I just wanted to buy a little extra something to bump it up the amount I spent and therefore reduce the postage cost a little bit. And I quite like the edge of this fabric for some sort of light coloured knickers. So it's just a nice cotton jersey fabric, and I've gone for plain white fold over elastic, and I made a few pairs. I think I ordered 0.5 meters of this fabric, but actually once I'd washed it and I measured it out, it was actually nearly 0.8 meters. So they gave me quite a generous ½ meter. So I was able to squeeze quite a few pairs of knickers out of this fabric in the end. So I think I made 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 5 pairs of knickers. And I've just got this small piece of fabric left here now, just a tiny bit from down the edge, which I don't know what I'm going to do with. But yeah, it was just a quite nice, simple project to do before holiday when I kind of packed and I was sort of twiddling my thumbs and just wanting something to do before I started. I don't know if you're the same. I kind of pack and I usually try and be quite prepared, and then I'll start thinking, oh, but maybe I should bring this, and oh, maybe I should bring this, and keep adding extra things to the suitcases. So yeah, sewing these knickers just gave me a bit of a distraction at that point and stopped me overfilling the suitcase with the things I probably didn't even need. So yes, that is the first thing I've been making, just a pile of Iris Knickers by Till in the Buttons. The second very small sewing project is actually one I just did yesterday. When I had a sort of half an hour of time just before I had to go and get the children from school, and I really fancied just getting my sewing machine out and just doing something, because I do always find it really relaxing to get my sewing machine out. So I picked up this bag that I'd crocheted, and I'm not sure if I shared this on here, I probably have. I crocheted it for myself, I think it might have been late last year. It's this really cute bag here, and I made it using an All About Amy pattern. I think it's called the Summer Days Daisy bag. I've made 2 different daisy bags by All About Amy. I think this is a summer one. So it's a really cute little bag with this sort of strap that you can make long enough to go sort of crossbody, so you kind of wear it like this. And I've also made one of these for my niece and one for my daughter in different colours, and I thought it would be nice to have one for myself for summer. I thought I made it in this kind of goldeny sort of colour, with little sort of almost sunflowers on, I guess. I thought that would hopefully go with quite a lot of things in my wardrobe, because it's fairly neutral in colours, I guess I'd say. So yeah, I made this, and I spent quite a while faffing about with getting the strap length the right length, because it's quite, I think with the crochet, and it's quite hard to tell how long it's going to be, and it kind of sometimes can stretch out. And I saw when I measured it to start with, it seemed like the right length, and when I finished it, I either ended up too short or too long. And anyway, I unpicked it a few times and finally got to what I thought was just the right length. But a few people had mentioned that this strap can stretch out a little bit once you start wearing the bag and putting things in. And I really didn't want that to happen because I spent so long trying to get it just the right length. And I was really pleased that. So a couple of people had suggested just to sort of basically add some ribbon on the inside of the strap, just to sort of make it sort of stay in place. So yeah, just to kind of, I don't know how you call it, sort of fortify it and stop it from stretching out because the ribbon's nice and non-stretchy. So I went down to my local haberdashery shop and had a look inside, and I found a couple of different ribbon options. I wasn't sure how easy it would be to stitch the ribbon inside, so I bought one narrow ribbon, very narrow ribbon, that was perfect match pretty much this colour. And then I also found a slightly wider ribbon that wasn't a perfect match, it was slightly lighter coloured, but I thought that might be easier to apply and give a better finish. But I thought I'd start off having a go of trying to put the narrow ribbon on first. And that's what I ended up doing, and it actually ended up working really well. So you can see I've now got on the inside of the strap these 2 lines of ribbon, and they go kind of either side of the little holy detail down the middle, so you can't really see that. It doesn't really spoil that detail there. So yeah, I've got one running around each side, and I actually sewed them so they went all the way around the inside of the top edge of the bag as well, so you can see in here. And one ribbon down this side, and one ribbon down this side. So the whole thing is now sort of, I guess, held in place by the ribbon, being a bit more rigid than the actual strap would be. And actually, it was really easy to do. I thought the ribbon behaved a lot better than I expected it to. It was really easy to sew through it and end up being quite accurate. So I'm really pleased that the narrow ribbon worked, and I've got the 2 sort of pieces of it there. And yeah, it was actually really straightforward and really simple and really quick to do. So I'm really glad I did take the time to do that before I start wearing this bag. I think it's more of a summery bag, and I'm really looking forward to using it this summer. So yeah, I'm really glad with how that turned out. I've now got a bit of extra ribbon left over in a slightly lighter colour, but I'm sure I'll find a use for that. And I'm thinking now I might do the same on my daughter's bag, because hers is crossbody too. I just need to find some pink ribbon and another kind of fine ribbon like this. Probably next time I go into town I might get some, just so I can do it with her bag as well, so hers doesn't stretch out. I guess she is going to grow, so if it stretches, it might work quite well with her growing, but no, it'd be nice to keep it that length. So yeah, it was a little sewing project to enhance a crochet project and hopefully make it last really well, and I'm really looking forward to using this bag in the summer. It was a lovely, really fun crochet project to make. If you're into crochet, I would really recommend it. I found the pattern came together so nicely. The whole thing was really enjoyable to put together. So yeah, and it's just a really cute little bag, I think, a bit of a statement bag to wear. I kind of envisaged myself wearing a nice black dress sort of floating about in summer, but we shall see. So yeah, I thought I'd share that little bit of sewing there. And then the next thing that I thought I'd share is a couple of fabrics that I've been sort of staring at a bit and toying with the idea of starting cutting into them and sewing them up. But I haven't quite, I've just been feeling a bit indecisive, really. I haven't quite mustered up the energy or the decisiveness to definitely know what I'm going to do with them. So I thought I'd share them now, and hopefully that might sort of start getting moving in the direction of starting working on these projects, because I would love to get started on a sewing project at the moment. And they're both fabrics I think I've shown before. This is the first one. It's one I've had for ages. I've talked about it a few times. It is a Meat Milk Tencel twill fabric, which I got quite a while ago from Minerva, and I think it's still in stock there, so I'll link it down below. You can get it in a few different colourways. There's a very pretty sort of rosy pink one. Yeah, a few different colours, but I just love this forest green colourway and these sort of 2 tones of green in this check. And it's a really lovely fabric. It's got a bit of, it's really drapey, but it's got a bit of weight to it. So when I bought it, I think I either bought 2.5 metres or 3 metres possibly, and I bought it with a view to making some sort of winter dress out of it. But that was a couple of years ago now, and I love the fabric and I want to wear it, and I really should sew it up, but it's just one of those fabrics where I've overthought it, definitely. So yes, I'm thinking about making it into, I think I mentioned this before, this pattern here, a Davenport dress pattern. I think that'd be really cute. But then I was looking at it earlier and it was sitting in a pile next to some sort of creamy white ribbed fabric, and I was thinking, well, actually maybe it would make a really nice pinafore that I could wear over like a lovely creamy white ribbed sweater or something like that, which started me doubting it again. So yes, anyway, I'm thinking of the Davenport dress, although now in my head I'm thinking maybe I can make it into like an Ogden cami hack instead, which meant I could layer it up a bit more, because the Davenport dress I think is really something you just wear on its own as a standalone piece, which will be lovely in this fabric too. So, and I'm going around in circles on it, but I thought I'd mention I really would like to get cut into that. I think I just need to just have a moment where I'm feeling really decisive and go for it without overthinking it. So yes, that is one thing that's on my pile of things I'd like to sew while we still have this quite wintry weather. And then the other fabric is one that I haven't had so long. It's this lovely cable knit faux Angora jersey fabric that came from Higgs & Higgs. You can see, if I hold it up closely, the cable knits on it, and it's unusual, the cable knit in this one, because it actually runs across the fabric, so sort of perpendicular to the grain rather than down the grain like you'd usually expect for a cable knit. And I bought this originally in the soft pink colourway and made a slightly adapted Jarrah sweatshirt with more of the stand-up funnel neckline, and I really love that sweatshirt. I haven't actually worn it a lot yet. I think it's one of those things where it's almost too nice to wear to start with, which is so silly. I need to start wearing that one, but I bought this because I thought a black version would be really nice too. So I was thinking of making pretty much exactly the same sweatshirt. I'll put a picture up of the pink one. Yeah, I was thinking of making the same sweatshirt in the black, but part of me thinks it'll be nice to make something a little bit different using the black fabric. I think it's still sort of like a sweatshirt weight fabric, so definitely something that I could wear like as a sort of top layer and maybe team with like skirts or jeans and that sort of thing. But if you have a pattern you think might work with this fabric, it might be a good alternative to just making the same thing again that I made in the soft pink fabric. I would love to hear suggestions. So yeah, that is some fabric I'd like to sew with sooner rather than later too. It isn't super thick and cozy, so it will be perfect as a piece that I could wear as the weather gets a little bit milder. But yeah, it'll be nice to make it sooner rather than later before the weather gets really warm, I guess. So yeah, those two fabrics have been sitting on the side in my bedroom and sort of staring at me, and I've been staring at them thinking I'd like to start sewing you. But yeah, I thought I'd share those two and let me know your thoughts on those ones. They are both quite wintry actually. I haven't actually bought any fabric very recently, but I would love to have some summery plans soon too. So hopefully I'll see some lovely summery fabrics coming out. I know that some of the fabric shops are starting to share them, and I'll be able to hopefully snap a couple up and share those with you sometime soon too. And then the other thing I wanted to share while I was on is my current crochet project. And when I went on holiday, I wanted something I could take on the plane with me and that'd be nice and easy to just pick up and work on without having to think too hard about it. And I've got a knitting project on the go at the moment. I'm making another knitted dog for my daughter from the Knitted Dogs and Puppies book. But I had actually asked on Instagram about what people's experience were with taking knitting needles on flights, and there was such a vast different amount of opinions on or experiences that people shared with me in terms of whether it was okay and whether it wasn't okay. But I thought I'm not going to risk it. I'm not going to take any knitting needles or do any knitting on the flight, because I quite like to knit with the sort of metal knitting needles, and people were saying that they might be more problematic to take on a flight than if you had the sort of smaller circular needles where there's only like a sort of small knitting needle bit, not the long metal ones. I didn't want to have to risk handing them in, having them confiscated on the way through security. So I thought I won't take my knitting. I'll just get myself a crochet project to go. I know I've flown with crochet hooks before. I know it's absolutely fine. So I thought, yeah, that's what I'll do. So I thought I've got a bit of yarn left over from a couple of projects. So I just had a couple of balls left at the end of the project. I've kind of bought a little bit too much. And one of them was a lovely We Are Knitters wool, which is the Merry Fine wool, which is like an Aran weight wool made out of merino yarn. And I made originally a black cardigan in that fabric, in that yarn, and had a bit left over. And it's really nice and soft, and I think with the merino wool it doesn't sort of irritate my skin. So yeah, I had a couple of balls left and I thought, what can I make with that? I'd like to make something useful. And I thought I had a look online and tried to find a pattern to make a little cowl to go around my neck. I don't often wear a scarf, but I sometimes feel like having a little cowl that just went right round would be quite nice and neat, and it would go quite well with my coat. I could zip my coat up. Sometimes I find scarves can be a bit too bulky. So I thought that isn't something I've got, and that would be maybe the perfect thing to use this leftover wool for. So I had a look online and found there were quite a few different free patterns, and I found one I like the look of, and I've got it here. Let me just find the front piece. I printed it all out to take on the plane with me. This is a pattern here. It's called the Easy Crochet Twisted Cowl, and it's by My Crochet Space. I'll link the pattern down below. You sort of make the crochet cowl by sort of just crocheting along in lines using like a half double crochet. That's I think an American half double crochet. And then you basically twist it a couple of times and sew it up. And I thought it was quite nice and kind of fairly sort of classic, and it's something I thought if I made in this black yarn, I would be able to wear quite a lot with like different coats and that sort of thing, or different jackets. So yeah, I've just been working on that. I'm not making very fast progress. I didn't do as much crochet on holiday as I thought I might do actually. But here it is so far. So you can see it's got this quite pretty stitch to it. I'm just working along the rows for partway through a row at the moment. I love how with crochet you can stop halfway through a row. My mum always told me with knitting, never stop halfway through. It can kind of affect the sort of tensions or spoil the neatness slightly. But with crochet, I love how you can just stop wherever really. It made it really easy to pick up and put down. So yes, I'm working through it. I think it's going to look quite nice when it's finished, hopefully. I think it will need blocking because with the lines, any sort of slight variations in tension is a little bit unforgiving. So the lines are maybe slightly wiggly. So yeah, I'm going to give it a go of blocking it once I'm done. But I've got a way to go yet. I think it needs to be a little bit deeper. I think the pattern says like 38 rows. I'm not sure how many rows I've done yet. I haven't really been counting. I thought I'd just do it by eye. But the pattern does say about actually you could finish this within an hour or two. I think it said somewhere, I think I read it somewhere in here. And I was thinking, I'm definitely not that fast at crochet. It's going to take me quite a lot longer than that. But I'm in no rush and I've been enjoying making it, and it is something I can see myself getting quite a lot of wear out of. I'm hoping the width is okay and it won't be too small because it looks a bit small, but I do want it to kind of be quite snug around my neck. So anyway, that is what I've been working on, and it's been quite enjoyable and just something I don't need to think too much about. And before that, I've been working on a dog for my son, and I tried this dog for my daughter, sorry, from the same Dogs and Puppies book, and it was really tricky, and I was really struggling to get my head around it. So I thought having a bit of a break and doing something simple will then mean I can go back to that a little bit more fresh and hopefully understand a bit better what I need to do for the knitted dogs. So yes, anyway, that is my crochet project. I'll link it down below, and I'll link the wool down below as well. It's just nice to find a use for some leftover balls of yarn. It's such nice quality yarn. It seems a shame for me not to find a use for it. So yes, that is what I'm working on. I don't know when I'll finish it. I'm hoping I'll finish it in time to be able to wear it before the weather warms up, but it's something I can see myself wearing in the future anyway. It's just a classic piece, I guess, like a black cowl. So yeah, I thought I'd share that too. So yes, that is my latest crochet project that I've been working on. And then the next thing that I wanted to mention is, in a fairly recent video, I shared how I made a couple of dresses for my daughter's Our Generation dolls, and I really enjoyed sewing them. I just used some scrap fabric I had left over from other projects and a free YouTube tutorial. I'll pop a picture up in case you haven't seen the little outfits I made. And I think I mentioned in that video that I was keen to sew some more dolls' clothes. My daughter was keen for me to sew some more too. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who suggested places I could look online for patterns for the kind of 18-inch Our Generation dolls. I hadn't realised that there were so many out there, and I had a good look online, and I've got some plans now to kind of maybe get a couple of those patterns and start sewing a few more pieces. So yeah, I will share those in a future video once I've got back into that. It's really nice to have some scraps left over that I can use for those, because they are so tiny, you really don't need much fabric at all. So yes, thank you to everyone who liked the little dresses that I've made and who suggested different pattern companies who have put out dolls' clothes patterns. Yeah, I didn't realise there were so many. So thank you very much. I'm looking forward to doing some more of those. I think they'll be nice palette cleanser projects in between sewing things for myself. So yes, that is on my plans too. But yes, I think that's everything that I've got to share in this video. So thank you so much for watching. It's been really nice to be back on, like I mentioned at the beginning, having had a week's break. And I hope you've enjoyed me sharing what I've been up to, even though it hasn't been so much, just a few little projects. And also thank you for listening to me about a couple of fabrics that I really would like to sew with. I hope you have some fun sewing plans in the pipeline too. It definitely seems to be getting to that time of year where people are starting to think ahead to warmer weather, and yeah, I know summer sewing plans are often really fun with lots of summer dresses and things. So yes, I hope you have some nice plans. I hope you're all well, and thank you very much for watching, and I hopefully see you for another video very soon. So yes, thanks again for watching, and see you soon. Bye.